Hey guys, this is your review video for polygons and parallelograms. Make sure that you pause the video if you need to, or go back and rewatch any of the questions that may have been tricky. The first question just wants you to remember all of your facts that you've learned about polygons. So the sum of your interior angles is that formula S equals 180 times n minus 2. N is the number of sides in the polygon. To find each interior angle in a regular polygon, that means I know they're all the same measure, we're going to take our 180 n minus 2 and divide our answer by n. That's the number of sides. The sum of the exterior angles, no matter how many sides it has, is always going to be 360 degrees. Then to find each exterior angle in a regular polygon, again, that means they're all going to be equal. We're going to take 360 and divide it by n, the number of sides. Last fact that's important is that an interior angle and an exterior angle always form a linear pair, which means they are going to add up to 180 degrees. That's going to be helpful on this next question. Question 2 wants us to find x and y in the polygon below. First thing I want to know is that bottom left corner is a 90-degree angle. I'm going to put a 90 in that corner. For some reason, when students don't write the 90 in it, they forget to add it in. Next one I'm going to look at is angle x. And angle x is right next to the 42-degree angle, which means the two of them are making a linear pair. So 180 minus 42 is going to give us 138 degrees for angle x. Now I know that this shape is a quadrilateral. It's not regular, so they're not all equal, but I will be able to make an equation that adds in all of the interior angles. So I'm going to take the y plus the 90 plus the 138 plus the 50-degree angle up top, and I'm going to equal it to 360. I'm using 360 because the interior angles in a quadrilateral always add up to 360 degrees. When I combine my like terms, we end up getting that y plus 278 is equal to 360. And if we subtract 278 from both sides, we get y is equal to 82 degrees. Question number 3 wants us to find x and y in the regular polygon below. I would start by finding y because for me that's easier. Y is an exterior angle. So in order to find it, we're going to take 360 and divide by the number of sides. It has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 sides. When I divide 360 by 7, it seems like it's about 51.4 degrees. The easiest way to find angle x would be to note that they make a linear pair. So we're going to take 180 and subtract off 51.4, and that would give me 128.6 degrees, and that would be angle x. But there is another way to do x that I want to bring up. Angle x is an interior angle, so we can use that formula 180 times n minus 2, or 7 minus 2, and divide our answer by 7, since each one of those interior angles is going to be equal. If we do it that way, we also get 128.6 for x. So either way you want to do it works just fine. Question 4 says find x in the polygon below. I do know this is a regular shape because each one of those sides are being marked as equal. So I'm going to start off by finding each interior angle because this 7x plus 31 is located on the inside. So we're going to take 180 times 5 minus 2 and divide our answer by 5 to figure out what each angle is. When I do that, it gives me that each angle is 108 degrees. So I'm going to set 7x plus 31 equal to 108 because that is what each angle is. Subtracting 31 from both sides gives us that 77 is equal to 7x. And finally, when we divide, x equals 11. Question number 5 says, if each interior angle in a regular polygon has a measure of 150 degrees, how many sides does it have? We look for our keywords, each interior angle, and we're going to start with our formula. Interior angles add up to 180 times n minus 2. That word each reminds us that we want to divide our answer by n. And this time when we do all of that work, we're supposed to get 150 as our answer. In order to solve this problem, we want to multiply both sides by n to get rid of that fraction. And we're going to go ahead and distribute too. So we have 180n minus 360 is equal to 150n. Subtracting 180n from both sides leaves me with negative 360 is equal to negative 30n. And when we divide, we get that n is equal to 12. So this would be a 12-sided figure. Next are our facts about parallelograms. The first thing we know is that opposite sides are parallel. Parallel lines have the same slope. We also know that opposite sides are congruent. They are equal to each other in measure. Opposite angles are also congruent. Their measures are also equal. Consecutive angles are like our same side interior angles, and we know they are supplementary, which means they add up to 180 degrees. And finally, we know that the diagonals bisect each other. That means they cut each other into two equal pieces. So our first problem wants us to find n in the parallelogram below. First thing I'm going to look at is what information am I giving you? I'm giving you angles K and M. They're angles and they're opposite angles. And I know that opposite angles are equal. So I'm going to set them equal. 8x plus 17 is equal to 12x minus 39. I'm going to get all the x's to one side. You get 17 is equal to 4x minus 39. Now we add 39 to both sides and get that 56 is equal to 4x. And finally, we divide and get x equals 14. But we always have to read the question. This question wants us to find angle n. Well, I don't know anything about angle n, so I'm going to start by plugging it into one of the angles I do know. If I plug it in to either angle K or M, we'll get 12 times 14 minus 39, and that would be 129. So angle M is 129, and angle K is also 129. But angle N is consecutive to that. So in order to find angle N, we're going to take 180 and subtract off the 129, since they add up to 180. That leaves me with 51 degrees. On question number 8, we are dealing with this parallelogram. And I know that ED, which is just this red piece, is 7x minus 13. I then know that BD, which is this whole length in blue, is 16x minus 38. So when we think about diagonals, we need to know that they bisect each other. They cut them into equal pieces. So this piece, ED, would be the same as the length of EB. So I could mark that one as also being 7x minus 13. Now I'm left with two pieces and a whole thing. So we know that 7x minus 13 plus another 7x minus 13 would equal 16x minus 38. We can combine our like terms and get 14x minus 26 is equal to 16x minus 38. Get our x's on one side. Negative 26 is 2x minus 38. Add the 38 to both sides. 12 equals 2x. So x is equal to 6. But as always, we need to read those directions. The problem wants us to find BD. So we're going to finish by plugging it in. We have 16 times 6 minus 38. And when we do all that math, we should get that BD is equal to 58. And the last problem, it wants us to find angle R in this parallelogram. I don't know anything yet about angle R, but I am giving you angle U and angle T. These two angles are consecutive. They're next to each other, which means these two angles should add up to 180 degrees. So I'm going to take the 5x minus 6 plus the 14x minus 4 and equal it to 180. When I combine my like terms, I get 19x minus 10 is equal to 180. We get that 19x is equal to 190. And when we divide by 19, x equals 10. Now, I think it would be easier to plug in the 10 into angle T because I know that R and T are opposite angles. They're across from each other. So I know they'll be equal. Angle R equals angle T, which is going to be a 14 times 10 minus 4. And when I do the math, it gives me 136 degrees.